Why a Pisces gut feeling is almost never wrong. Now, have you guys ever noticed how a Pisces can feel something before it happens? Pisces are ruled by Neptune, making them highly observant, intuitive, and sensitive to energy, body language, and hidden motives. So what may look like a gut feeling is oftentimes a combination of pattern recognition, emotional awareness, and intuition working together. So in this video, I'm gonna break it down for y'all why Pisces instincts are so powerful, how they spot red flags early, and why people regret ignoring a Pisces warning. Now, one thing's for certain is that a Pisces can catch on to something before everyone else gets whiff of it. Now, some people may call Pisces lucky in a sense, overthinking or being emotional, but nah. See, I'm gonna break it down for y'all because a Pisces gut feeling is different, and why you ignoring it, it usually come back to prove that the Pisces was right. So let's get into it. Now, I'm gonna give you guys the reason and how this works, because once a Pisces goes silent, most people think that, oh, the Pisces must be tired, the Pisces must not be in the mood, or what shifted. And some may think that the Pisces is simply zoning out, but they're not zoning out. See, they're scanning, they're reading the energy in the room. They notice something different. They notice the shift. And see, let's just say, for example, the story doesn't match the energy. So here, let's say someone says, hey, I'm happy for you. Congratulations on your wedding, your baby shower, your graduation. It could be anything that would be something of that person to be happy for you about. But let's just say in their voice, they sound irritated. Every time you win, every time you excel, every time you succeed, it's almost like the person doesn't sound happy for you when they say they're happy for you. So here, what is happening is that the Pisces realizes the support was fake all along. Okay. So the next one, body language contradicts words. So here we know that it's all about your actions, not so much your words. Let's say a friend says, I'm fine, but while doing so, they're avoiding eye contact. So now what do you notice? You notice that the hidden resentment eventually explodes because you know this person is holding something and hiding something from you. They're not telling you exactly what they're feeling, but you can see it in their body language. Now, another thing is that people reveal themselves through patterns, illusions, facades. They only call when they need something. And let's say a Pisces discovers that they've been used. This could be the situation when it's one-sided energy and the person is always wanting to collect from you, Pisces. So it's through the pattern recognition that you observe their true behavior. Now, another thing is that it could be forced kindness that feels unnatural. Have y'all ever been in a situation where it can feel forced when it comes to smiles, when it comes to gestures? And see, let's say someone suddenly becomes extra nice after wanting a favor. Do you think that they're nice naturally, or do you think that they're only nice because they want a favor? So here, Pisces can clearly sense the manipulation disguised as friendship here. Now, the next thing is that the details don't add up. So in this situation, the stories keep changing every time they're retold. See, almost as if the Pisces can detect the dishonesty within it. Another thing is that someone who is performing instead of being authentic. We all know that actors are such good performers when it comes to performances on stage. So here's the same equation, because let's say someone is performing on stage, but now you see a different personality around different groups regarding this person. So nobody knows the real person in all. Now, Pisces also notices that silence reveals what's hidden. And this is why Pisces would rather go silent, because whenever you go silent, you begin to find out the truth. You begin to find out what is in plain sight, but yet it's what you can't see. So Pisces stop talking, and all of a sudden they start to notice everyone else's behavior. So here, worst case scenario, they see things they wish they hadn't. Another thing is that sometimes a Pisces experiences micro reactions that expose true feelings and intentions and motives. So here it could be a brief annoyance when succeed, or let's say whenever you mention success to someone, all of a sudden you see that brief annoyance within that person's expression, body language, or just their micro reactions. So here you would know as a Piscean intuitively that there is some secret jealousy at hand. Another thing is that people tell on themselves indirectly. So here, even if they're joking and they are saying, oh, it was just a joke, we all know that it's not just a joke, because this is considered the hidden truth. Now, their real intentions become obvious when they're doing this. Now, another thing is over-explaining oftentimes signals guilt. So anytime someone goes into a Martin Luther King speech, a long explanation for something simple of being asked of them, such as a simple question, Pisces oftentimes realizes they're being deceived whenever someone tries to go into a long explanation, because now instead of them just being simple about it, now it sounds like they're trying to convince you, Pisces. Now, another thing is the energy shifts before the actions do. So here, everybody knows that it's all about your energy. So someone becomes distant weeks before actually leaving. What shifted? Their energy first before they actually physically left. So Pisces can see the ending coming first because of the cycle. Now, another thing is that facades, they require maintenance. So here, it could be a fake image starts cracking under pressure. So here, when you look at someone who's operating or wearing the mask, meaning the facade, the best way to break it down to where this person to know whether or not it's real or fake, which most times is fake, but for you to find out what's really going on regarding the person's fake image. See, but I'm here to tell you that it cracks under pressure. Now, Pisces can sense this because the truth surfaces publicly. As soon as you start to apply pressure to someone who is wearing the mask, and just knowing that the facade itself requires maintenance to even keep that up. So that's why pressure ends up putting a crack in the mask, and then the truth surfaces. Now, people oftentimes project their own issues onto Pisces. Now, here, let's say someone starts to accuse others of what they're doing themselves. This is a good example. And see, that's how the trust gets destroyed, because if you are doing something that is only you doing something, why are you trying to project at that point? So Pisces catches on to projection. Now, another thing is that people oftentimes have hidden motives, and those hidden motives eventually leak out. Why? Because of the generosity always comes with strings attached. And this is how we know and we are sensitive to that emotional manipulation that occurs. Now, when you look at Pisces, they also notice what isn't being said. So here it could be important topics or events that are always avoided when being, when a person would speak about it. And see, the bad thing here is, see, those major secrets remain hidden until the damage is done first. So why is it that when the damage is done, that's when these secrets come out? So that's what Pisces notices about a person that is always avoiding those topics. So it's all about what you can't see, what's not being said clearly. Now, another thing is Pisces catches on to contradictions, and these contradictions tend to stand out immediately. Why? Because of the pattern, the actions within the pattern. And that is what makes the pattern, is the actions that are repeatedly opposing those promises that a person will tell. And see, Pisces will stop believing the words entirely once this happens. A Pisces will also look at the group dynamics, which those in itself expose the truth. So one person could be acting differently when certain people enter the room, and then they're a whole completely different person around another. So then a Pisces will catch on to this, that, oh, there are some fake alliances getting exposed here. So another thing is that a Pisces will look at the timing of events, because timing reveals intention. So here, if a person is not consistent, a Pisces will look at a situation and realize that, damn, they appear only when things benefit them. So that's how a Pisces realizes they were never valued in the first place. Now, it's a situation where the emotional mask eventually slipped, especially when it comes to the facades, because of anger. Anger comes out during stress, whenever pressure is applied. So here, the real personality of the person and their true image appears. Now, another thing is the silence. The silence is the data collection that a Pisces receives and collects, because everybody thinks Pisces checked out mentally. Now, meanwhile, the Pisces, while all appearing to be checked out, is actually connecting every clue and every dot, seeing crossing T's and dotting I's. But here's the thing, when Pisces finally speaks, the entire picture makes sense. So the thing of which people misunderstand about Pisces in regards to this topic is the fact when Pisces goes quiet, people assume they're distracted, emotional, daydreaming, or zoning out. But the whole time, even though in some cases it could be true, they're watching. See, they're noticing inconsistencies. They're noticing patterns. They're comparing words against actions. They're picking up on the shifts in tone, the facial expressions, the gestures, the timing, the motives, the energy. See, and while everyone else is focused on what's being said, Pisces is oftentimes focused on why it's being said. So that's why when Pisces finally speaks after being silent for a while, people are shocked by how much they notice. Not because they're psychic, because they were paying attention the whole time. And this is one thing when it comes to another couple valid examples that I have, is that Pisces, they notice who changes when the power enters the room. And this is deep. So this is like the extra sauce that goes on the cake. So here, when someone acts humble, especially when you meet them, then all of a sudden, until an important person arrives, they change. So Pisces can realize that their personality is just an act. Another thing is when a Pisces goes silent, starts to read the room, they begin to find out and catch the fake confidence within a person, because of the constant bragging that a person does tends to hide the deep insecurities that lie beneath them. And see, we know this to be true because the decisions they get made from ego instead of reality. Another thing that Pisces starts to go silent and starts reading the room, they begin to find out and notice who celebrates your losses. Do people start smiling when you lose? And see, a person seems more excited when you're struggling than succeeding. So a Pisces will pay attention to this and catch the mere fact that they're surrounded by hidden enemies that get mistaken for friends. Now, another thing that will cause a Pisces to go silent and start to read the room, they will begin to find out that the person that listens to the situation starts to listen from what people repeat. See, so if a person says something more than once, a Pisces will look at the situation like, why are they repeating what they've said? So here, let's say somebody just keep bringing up the same issue, bringing up the past, mentioning something more than once. So here, Pisces will begin to read the room and understand that an obsession or unresolved problem controls their behavior because they keep thinking about it. See, so another thing, when Pisces goes silent, they begin to read the room. They begin to notice the selective honesty. So here, it's almost like telling the truth about small things while hiding the big things. So here, the trust ends up collapsing as a result when the missing pieces surface. Now, another thing with a Pisces going silent and reading the room, they begin to pick up on when apologies are just damage control. See, so here it could be a situation where a person is like only saying that they're sorry and trying to come, and that in itself of them trying to say that they're sorry, it only comes when the consequences arrive. So here, when we look at this, the behavior never changes as a result. Now, another reason why Pisces will go silent, and when they read the room, they will begin to notice who never takes accountability. And see, it could be in a sense where every problem is somehow somebody else's fault. And we've all been through this. Now, Pisces oftentimes becomes the next scapegoat. Another thing that a Pisces will go quiet and read the room, they would begin to study the reactions, not the statements. So here, let's say a person began to mention one name and watch someone else's face change in regards to it. Now, this will show hidden feelings eventually create conflict because of this. Now, another reason why Pisces will go silent and while they're reading the room, they will notice who benefits from confusion. And see, a person will keep things vague until they will put it like this. A person will keep things vague on purpose. So here they're holding out. They're holding on to the information. Now, let's say in regards to this, the manipulation stays hidden longer because of that. Now, another thing of which a Pisces will go silent and read the room, they will pick up on seeing when someone is fishing for information. So here, if a person starts to ask questions while revealing nothing about themselves, a Pisces will catch on and notice that, okay, maybe I'm oversharing too much with the wrong person. Another thing why a Pisces will go silent and them reading the room, what they may pick up on is they start to notice who copies versus who creates. So here, when every opinion suddenly becomes someone else's opinion, where a person will act as if they don't have a mind of their own. So here, a Pisces will know that the lack of authenticity damages the trust. So another thing of which a Pisces will go silent and read the room, they may pick up on the catch of emotional bait. See, so here, let's say somebody tries to provoke a reaction. Here, then a Pisces will look at it like, okay, that's why other people are getting pulled into this unnecessary drama. And see, when a Pisces goes silent and read the room, they also pick up on who disappears when things get hard. And now, every time there's an issue, a Pisces will notice that, hey, why do these particular friends vanish during difficult times? And see, that's how the loyalty ends up proving that it's one-sided. Another thing with which a Pisces will go silent and read the room, they will pick up on the respect and knowing that it's conditional. So here, people only will respect you when you're useful. So that's almost saying like they will use you until they have no use for you. And that's how you know that the relationships become transactional. Now, another thing with a Pisces going silent and them reading the room, what they will pick up on is the fact of how people treat those beneath them. So here, if someone is kind to the boss, but rude to the workers, then a Pisces will pick up on the fact that, hey, this is the real person's true character. Now, when a Pisces goes silent and when they read the room, they also pick up on who interrupts constantly. Or it could be a person that constantly interrupts, won't let you finish your statement, your sentence, try to cut you off. So here, let's say someone never lets the other person finish. Okay, boom. Next thing you know, we know that the ego is present, because that's what becomes more important than understanding of someone who's speaking other than them. Now, a Pisces that goes silent and reads the room, they may also pick up on the emotional inconsistencies. So here, let's say somebody's loving one day, cold the next, without any explanation. Next thing you know, Pisces will begin to notice that, hey, this is an unstable relationship that is creating confusion. Another reason why Pisces will go silent and when reading the room, they will pick up on when words are used as camouflage. So here it could be a person that, or a group of people that's doing a bunch of talking, a bunch of yapping, and see, these type of conversations could be of little substance. So it could be a situation where those important truths that get buried within the conversation with these people. Another thing why Pisces will go silent and when they read the room, what they will collect is they will recognize when silence makes people expose themselves. See, usually it's almost as if the person knows that you can actually see through them, right? Because they know they're hiding something, subconsciously. So here, a Pisces can say nothing and suddenly everybody starts oversharing. Why is this? Because a lot of times when a person is sitting still, it causes pressure. And see, when that pressure is applied, it reveals a person's true character, no matter the fake facade or front that they're trying to give off. But according to the silence of a Pisces, will make a person feel so uncomfortable where they start to tell on themselves, they start to overshare, and see what this caused this mask to come off faster than expected for this other person. Now, I will say that the scariest part about all this is that most people think Pisces is quiet because they're confused, but that's not the case. See, that's just the little surface level thing of how people tend to correlate and try to understand Pisces when really they're just being confused themselves. Now, sometimes a Pisces is quiet because they're already then figured out and are simply waiting for more evidence. So a Pisces knows that, hey, if I just wait a little longer, then, hey, these conclusions will come to me. I don't have to rush to them. So a Pisces in itself will actually pick up and connect the dots and see, even though they've been watching the patterns the whole time. So a Pisces just simply just measuring the whole consistency in itself. And by the time everybody sees the truth, Pisces is usually just sitting there with the information for weeks, knowing everything about a person. And a lot of times that's why people be saying, damn, Pisces, how did you know all this? Because Pisces wasn't listening to the words. Pisces was listening to the actions, the tone, the things that you can't see. See, they were watching the pattern behind the words. So like, comment, share, subscribe. In the comments, let me know if you agree to disagree and any type of examples of things that you went through, stories I'd like to know in the comments. And thanks for watching. Catch y'all next one. Peace out.